If you're thinking about buying a narrowboat, watch this first. I break down the 11 worst things about owning a narrowboat to help you decide if this lifestyle is for you. Most people only think about the best bits, which are incredible, and I will cover that in the next video. So let's get into it now in no particular order. Number 1, space. You have limited square footage, especially if there's more than one person on your boat, or if you have a pet. It can be difficult if you have a falling out and just need a bit of space for yourself, or if you're trying to run a business from the boat. The space is very limited, as you can see from me walking down this corridor. Number 2, storage. This is limited, so you need to be ruthless and get creative on what you keep and what not to keep. I'm struggling, as I do love my gadgets. You will need to get creative where things are stored. I will be adding some creative cupboard space over the next few months, mainly in the bedroom, where I've got the gunnel running along the side of the boat next to the bed, where I've got a little bit of space where I can store a few things. I've also got some ideas for in the main cabin. Number 3, power. This is very challenging in the winter and with cloudy days and less sunlight for the solar. Engines and generators have to be run more frequently to charge the batteries. I have to manage my power very carefully. For example, I can't run my internet 24/7 as it runs on mains power via the inverter. It is power hungry. A lot of things on the boat run on the 12-volt system. However, if you're running something on mains power, like a blender or a microwave or anything like that, which I don't have by the way, it does take power to convert it from 12 volts to 240 volts. Number 4, mooring. You can moor almost anywhere for up to 2 weeks before you're required to move on, unless there is a sign that tells you how long you can stay, which can be as little as 24 hours. I'm going to Crick Boat Show this year with Narrowboat Kate, and I already know I will have to double moor with another boat, meaning I'll get less of my next point. Like myself this year, you could find a mooring in a marina for the winter, which does make life a lot easier. Number 5, privacy. As you can see, I'm actually moored up in the marina and there is a boat next to me. However, most of the boats in the marina have got nobody on it, so it doesn't feel like I've got people right next door to me. Double mooring means you're tied up alongside another boat, literally next to each other, with your windows facing each other. I prefer to moor in fairly remote spots, so should be interesting on how I get on at Crick. Another thing I've not experienced, but I've heard some people jumping onto other people's narrowboats. They need to remember that each boat is someone's home. How would they feel if somebody jumped through their front door and sat on their couch? I'm guessing not happy. Number 6, weather. In the winter it can get cold on a narrowboat, but it can get cold in a house as well. You just need to be prepared with fuel for whatever heating system you have, whether it's coal, wood or diesel. The canals do freeze over sometimes for weeks at a time, making it difficult to resupply, especially for water. In the summer it can get hot inside a narrowboat. Remember, it's a long steel tube that gets hot in the sun. Last summer on one day the temperature hit 37 degrees Celsius inside my boat. You can get air conditioners, but this takes power. So if you have enough solar, it can work well. Number 7, other boaters. First of all, the vast majority of boaters are fantastic, are very respectful and follow the rules of etiquette on the canals. However, as in all walks of life, there is a small number who let us down. An example would be for a speed of a boat. Boaters are expected to slow down to tick over speed, the slowest the boat can go. This stops the moored boat from being thrown about in the wake of a passing boat. If it's going too fast, it can result in the mooring pins being pulled out of the ground, sending the moored boat adrift. Even speeding more than 4 miles an hour can cause erosion of the banks and a huge problem in some areas. Number 8, food. If If you're going to be a continuous cruiser, you need to plan well ahead to ensure you have enough food on board. However, you can be several miles away from the nearest food shop. Unless you have transport, you have to walk there and back carrying it all. I do have a trolley that I use. That really helps as it takes the weight. In winter it becomes harder as you may have to contend with muddy towpaths as well. Number 9. Water. You have a very limited supply of water. Water tanks can be anything from 200 to 1000 litres depending on the space you have. A typical bath takes around 80 litres of water, which is why most boats have a shower. Hot water is limited as it takes a lot of power to heat it up. I also use a shower head that you can turn off with a button while you soap yourself and back on to wash the soap off. This saves a huge amount of hot water as you are only using the water you need to. Hot water takes power with the running of your engine, or if you have an immersion heater, that takes power. There are water taps at irregular points along the canals, but can be many miles apart. I always keep a good supply of bottled water on board as a backup. Number 10. Toilets. Strangely enough, this is one of the main talking points of boaters. What type of toilet do you have, is the usual question. There are 4 types. The most popular is a cassette toilet, which collects everything in a small suitcase sized container, which when full you have to carry to an LSAM point where you empty it out. It's not a pleasant task. There is a pump out type where you collect around 200 litres of what you produce. This is normally placed under your bed. I never liked that idea. Another toilet is gaining popularity is a composting toilet, where the liquid is collected separately from the solids that are mixed in with the compost. The last is quite rare as it takes a lot of power to work it. That is an incinerator toilet that burns everything to reduce it to ash. It sounds great, but I believe it takes around 1 kilowatt of power for each flush. Number 11. Laundry. If you have the power, you can install a washing machine. I will be getting a small tabletop one. You have then to hang up the clothes to dry. The other way is to keep your clothes clean is to look for a laundrette where you can carry all your washing there, sit for a couple of hours after handing over 8 to 14 pounds per wash depending on the size of the wash. The main problem is laundrettes are not too common along the canals. 11 and a half. As I was editing this video this morning, I had another thought, and one big one which I haven't mentioned so far is actually loneliness. You can be out there for days at a time not speaking to anyone. You might wave at somebody as they go past, but you haven't got that sort of interaction with a human being. You can get a pet, of course, and that is a massive bonus, so that will be in next week's video. As long as you're comfortable in your own company, then you'll get on fine. So what is the conclusion? Is boat life for you? Well, now I've told you some of the reasons why boat life may not be for you. Why don't you tell me if I've put you off buying a boat, or if you already have one, do you agree with me? Or have I missed something out? I would love to hear your views and questions in the comments below. Next week I'll tell you the 10 reasons why you should buy a boat. See you then.